Okay, I would strongly encourage you to jot stuff down. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go over the new thing that we're going to talk about first. When I go over that, I am going to, in the process of going over it, I'm going to talk you through it. I'm going to tell you now where to go to find it. I'm going to tell you at the end where to go to find it and where to go to turn it in. Okay. This thing that we are going to talk about is in Blackboard. So you may have trouble like filling something out on your computer while you're watching this, and I understand that. That's why if you go back to, like, on the let me make sure I shared my screen, I don't think I did. Yeah, I did. Okay, so that's why when you go back, you can always go back down here to this class and see any class that you want to. So, like tonight, if you after we get done, if you go here and maybe down the class, you can pick I don't want to hit launch class, but if you can pick that class and go back and fast forward it to what you need to see, um, because I do know that it's hard to sometimes fill out a document while you're doing things, like while you're trying to watch and pay attention. Okay, so the thing that we are doing tonight is an activity. We really need to go over how to do the budget activity before we start with the new chapter, because this is in the old chapter that we were working on. So if you go to module 2, which is where we're at, and you click on this, you're going to see, I'm pretty sure that it's under this right here, video, PowerPoints, and activity and project for chapter 4. Let me make sure, because sometimes I have to look around too. So if you were missing the financing my future car activity, there it is. There's another place where you turn it in. Um, and okay, so this is this is the actual project that you're going to do. And so we don't need to do that. Let me go back. Let me go back. That's my fault. Um, I think you can actually find it all right here. So let me do student preview so you can look at, you're seeing extra stuff that you don't have. So let's look at what you actually have. So if you go to module 2, the thing that we are working on tonight, so I did have some people ask about the car activity submission. The actual project is under financing my future car under video, PowerPoints, activity and project. And then the submission part where you turn it in is under car activity submission. So there's that. Tonight, we are looking for the practice budget activity Smith family. Okay, because the next thing we're going to be doing is the real thing, and it's not real difficult, but I will tell you that if you do this, it will help you with the next thing, because the actual project is difficult. So we're under module 2, and I'm picking practice budget activity Smith family. Okay. And when I do that, I want to click view instructions. And whenever you view instructions, it's going to give you two things. One thing is going to give you the actual instructions. So we're going to kind of work on this together, but it's going to give you the actual instructions and what you need to fill out. Okay. The other thing it's going to give you is a Excel document. Okay. And you don't have to use the Excel document. And I'm going to show you how to do all this in just a second. But I would strongly encourage that you download this. And so I did have someone tell me, like, I'm looking at your thing, and if I went to go and hit download here, um, if it's saying that if your computer is, there's one person I think that this applies to, but if your computer is saying that it's a high security risk, you're going to choose that you're going to download it anyway. There's nothing wrong with it. I don't know why it's flagging that, but it's fine. Like, I think there's an option for you to pick download it anyway. And if there's not, I'll stay after class and help with that. But you want to have this downloaded somewhere. It's the 4A activity worksheet. You probably eventually want to download this other thing. So let me start over real quick tell you where this is because this is what we're working on tonight. At the end, after I kind of go through this, because I'm going to go slow and help you fill this out. Um, and so I will say this, if you're having trouble like paying attention and filling it out at the same time, I would just pay attention and then go back later or go back after class, like after I've stopped talking and then try to fill it out. Because then you can look at the video maybe on your phone and fill it out on your computer at the same time. That might work. Okay, so I went to module 2 and I went to practice budget activity um, Smith family. That's the one we're doing. Module 2, practice budget activity Smith family. I'm going to hit view instructions and it's going to give me these two things. I want to download them, which is this little box right here. Sorry, these little dots right here, and it'll let you download however you want to do that. Okay. And so this part is the instructions. I will be reading this out loud. So whenever you hear me talking, I'll try to go back and forth between the steps, but when you hear me talking, this is what I'm talking about. I say, look at the instructions. And then the 4A activity worksheet new, this is an Excel document. You're going to want to download that so that you can fill it out. Okay. So I can stay there. So let me see if we've got anybody else. We do have a couple of other people that have logged in. Let me check and see who I don't have. Jesse, did that. Definitely am missing people. I'm sorry. I don't want to leave people out here. So let me go back and just check because we've. Okay, I think I got the two more that were logged in. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing this. And here's what, if you have never worked in Excel, when you go to I'm going to share this with you. On the university site, like if you go to Pulaski Tech and you look at so maybe I need to go here first just to make sure I'm doing a good job of explaining because there may be some of you who have never done this before, but if you go to so if you whoa, I don't want that. We don't need to see every email I sent. Um ooh, so if I were to type in Pulaski Tech login, that's what I always type to go there. You can type in whatever you want to, but if I go to Pulaski Tech login and then I click on it, okay, it's gonna already have me pulled up. So you need to log. So when you log in, you may be able to use Excel like you may have Excel already like established on your computer. I'm just making sure you know this is here. So when I just there should be a little corner in your when you log in that says My Apps. Okay. So when you click on My Apps, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to go back and forth a little bit to get all of this on here. When you go to My Apps, you're going to see your apps. You may have some different ones than me just because I'm an instructor, but you're going to have a lot of these. And so I want to find Excel. Okay, I want to find Excel. And so I'm looking through here and I see it on the second row. So I'm going to go, I would like to open that. And I know you can't see that. So I opened Excel from My Apps. And let me show you what happened when I opened it. It makes me, you have to, It's a pain in the booty, but here we go. I opened Excel. Now, if I didn't already have this, so I'm going to assume that you downloaded the thing and we need to upload it. So I'm going to pick upload a file in my file. So it's going to go to my files and it's called 4A activity worksheet. That's what it's called. And so I want that. And so it's going to open it up for me. So here it is. You don't have to do it this way, but I'm just telling you that it will make your life a lot easier if you use this spreadsheet that's because it already is done for you. It's going to add things up. It's going to um anyway, it's going to make your life easier. If you want to use this as a resource and just write it out, that's fine. I don't it doesn't matter to me, but you have to do it one way or another. And this is probably the easiest way. Okay, let me check. I am looking back at the home screen where you can chat with me. Let's see. Okay. I understand that, but I'm downloading it from so I'm seeing somebody say that theirs is not working. I can go back and look at yours. So if I go so I'm looking at the exact same thing. Like I am in the document that is here. So I don't know why your computer is letting you only do that. I can try to email it to you here in a little bit. If we can try that out and see if it works. But it should work. Mine is the exact same thing. I don't there's something going on with your computer. July is here. Okay. So couldn't find where the recorded classes are. Okay, let me get to the end of let me get it to the end of this class and then we can go back and look at all of this other stuff that you guys are asking me. Okay. So, anyway, now I'm going to, without trying to go back and forth, I'm going to tell you what I'm reading from. Um, so, really quickly, there's that document that is 1 through whatever. So, let me make sure that I'm actually sharing this with you because I didn't do that. So, this is under the Smith Family Budget Activity, and it gives you the instructions. I doubt that I'm gonna keep going back and forth because, well, we can do them one at a time, and I'll go back and forth. But here we go. The Smiths feel like they are not sure where the money seems to be going and would like to start a monthly budget action plan. In summary, they need your help. The Smiths family expenses and income are provided below. Daniel and Anna Smith currently have 2 children, 11 and 8. Daniel works as a supervisor at a local manufacturing plant. His current annual salary is 36,000. The Smiths tend to spend more than they make each month, but are not sure how much more. They feel like they have too much credit card debt and don't have enough money set aside for family savings in categories of emergency and medical. Okay? So, what do I know from that? So when I go to the spreadsheet, okay, Brandy, I'm glad you got it done. I'm didn't mean to be I started thinking about I didn't mean to be condescending if I was. I really didn't mean to be. Listen, I'm gonna tell you, as you can see right now, I'm already having trouble because I can't I don't know why it says it's supposed to be showing me, but it's not. So I'm going to the spreadsheet and I'm putting in $36,000 because it told me that Daniel in their family made $36,000. Okay, so that's what I know so far. I'm going to go to part number 2. So, part number 2 says Their current MasterCard balance of $4,000 is being assessed a 24% APR finance charge, and they have a minimum payment of $80 monthly. They're hoping to pay off their debt within 2 years, but this would require that they increase their monthly credit card payment to at least 2,000, I mean, just 2,260. Okay, I just need to go home, is what I was gonna say, but I already am home, so let me say that again, $206.67 to meet their goal, okay? Now we are filling out, let me go back. We are filling out a monthly spreadsheet, and so we are not trying to do a yearly budget. We're doing a monthly budget, I'm pretty sure. So let me go back. So let's fill out what we know about the credit card, and let's fill out, let's go back and change the salary, because if he makes $36,000 a year, we're going to need to divide that by 12 to get the monthly salary. So let's go back and look at the spreadsheet. We'll take care of both of these at the same time. So we go here, not there. We go here. Y'all are probably going to get a headache by the time we have to go back and forth. But 36,000 divided by 12 is $3,000 a month. This is a monthly budget. Okay, so now I'm looking for some kind of a credit card payment. So I'm looking through here and seeing what I can find. We've got auto, health, homeowners, life. We've got the cable TV, cell phone, electricity, home mortgage, internet, all of this good stuff, credit card payment. Now, they said that they are hoping to pay off their debt within 2 years, but this would require that they increase their monthly credit card payment to 206. So right now, I'm gonna go ahead and put it at 206.67. So 206.67. Okay, so there's their credit card. That's what we know so far. We look at part number 3. It says the family bought a home 10 years ago for $250,000. Their loan is a 30 years. Mortgage is a fixed rate at 6%, and their monthly payment is $1,300. So this is not asking you to calculate a payment. It's telling you what the payment is. To safeguard against theft, fire, and other calamities, they carry homeowners insurance with an annual premium of $804, and the Smiths pay $600 every 6 months for county property and property taxes on their home. Now, this some of these are going to need to be divided because they don't happen every month, right? So this 804 is an annual premium. That means I can divide it by 12. This the $600 can be divided by the Smiths pay $600 every 6 months. So it can be divided by 6 for county and property taxes on their home. So let's take care of number 3. So I'm going to go here. Sorry about this. So we're going here and we're going to say, okay, what do we know? We know their mortgage now. They said that they paid $1,300 in their mortgage every month. That's how much it costs. So I'm putting that down. It also said that that to safeguard against theft, fire, and other calamities, they carry homeowners insurance with an annual premium of $804. So that $804 happens once a year. So I need to divide that by 12 if this is a monthly budget, so we can allot what we need to. And that's going to be called, that should be their homeowners insurance. So that's right here. And 804 divided by 12 is 67. Okay, so there's that. It also said on that very next thing, the Smiths pay $600 every 6 months for county property taxes on their home. So that they're paying that every 6 months. So 600 divided by 6 for their county and property taxes. So let's see, where is that at? There it is right there. So $100 a month because they pay it $600 every 6 months. So we're moving right along. I'm filling out what the information that I've been given. Um, So we are at step number 4 of 5 steps. So we're getting very close. They currently pay a monthly cable TV bill of $65.49, an internet provider bill of $60, and a cell phone bill of $120.45. Their utility bills for all of that are I'm sorry, not for all of that. Their utilities bills for electricity, natural gas, water, sewage, garbage are these numbers respectively, which means that these are in order. So their utility bills for electricity is 4056, natural gas 7950, water, sewage, and garbage goes together is 5029. So when it says respectively, that means in order. So on this one, we've got to kind of figure out we don't have to figure out anything. We just need to put it where it goes. So if we go back to our spreadsheet, um, here we go. They currently pay, I'm just doing number 4, a monthly cable TV bill of $65.49. So cable TV, $65.49. Um, internet provider bill of $60. I'm just getting this off the spreadsheet. And what else do we have here? We have a cell phone bill of 120.45. 120.5. Okay. And they have an electrical bill of 40.56. It's just telling me all that stuff on that paper. So I'm going through and I'm plugging it into this spreadsheet. For natural gas, it is 79.50. And for water, sewage, and garbage, it said it was 50.29. Okay, so there we go. We got that part filled in. Last thing that we need to look at. Number 5. On average, the family spends $600 on groceries per month and eats out quite often and spends $100 at restaurants. That makes me feel really guilty. If that's including McDonald's and everything, or whatever you went, drive through somewhere, but that's kind of good, I guess. Their clothing expenditures, but I mean, again, you're living on one income that's 36,000 a year. That's kind of rough. The clothing expenditures average $90 per the family per month. The entertainment $65 and miscellaneous items are $70. The family pays $200 per month for health insurance and $45 for quarterly life insurance policy. So let's add. We should be getting to where we are filling in all the spreadsheet. Okay, lovely peoples. It said that they spend $600 on groceries per month. By the way, talking about groceries, if you either love Cadbury eggs or you hate them. Unfortunately, I love Cadbury eggs and I also love Peeps. Those little marshmallow things, which is terrible. So this time of year is like, oh, there's Cadbury eggs. I feel like I have to eat them all up at once because they're going to take them all away when Easter's over with. $100, and some people just think they're so gross. So I don't even know if anybody else in my house would eat them. $100 at restaurants. I'm going to say dining out. It says that their clothing is $90 and their entertainment for the month is going to be $65. The miscellaneous items are $70. Okay. It also says the family pays $200 per month for health insurance and they pay a quarterly They pay $45 for quarterly life insurance. So if it's quarterly, that means that they're paying it every quarter. Um, so they're paying it 4 times a year. So 12 divided by 4 would be 3. So they're paying it every 3 months, and it's $45. So 45 divided by 3 is $15 a month. That's for their life insurance. Now, I did not notice where it said some of these other things. So we're gonna go back and look at our directions. But what I do know is it's saying that the total expenses are $3,229.96, and the net monthly cash flow is $229.96. So we only had $3,000 to spend, and it's in the red. So that means we are not in a good place right now. So, or they are not in a good place. So let's go back and look at the rest of the directions. Um, Kayla, I completely understand. I am recording this, so maybe that will help you, and I'll help you figure out where to go to get that. Um, so the rest of the directions say, okay. Said the spreadsheet provided a framework to quantify Smith's monthly inflow and outflow. The formulas are already set up, and all you'll be able to use the template to help Smiths balance their monthly budget, helping them achieve their financial goals. So it says, what was the original net cash flow for the Smiths? What percentage of their monthly income is dedicated to the combination of mortgage and homeowners insurance? And list some of your creative but realistic recommended changes to their budget. Okay, so here's what I would suggest to you. I'm going to work these out with you for you on a separate, like on the whiteboard on this, so that you can see them. So you may want to jot these down on a piece of paper so that you'll have them. Um, So just have a piece of scrap paper. So I'm going to stop sharing this and give me just a minute, and I'm going to pull up a piece of paper that we can kind of work these rest of the stuff together. We filled out the spreadsheet, so that part's done. Um, oh, actually, I have a better idea. Hold on just one second. This works better, I think. They have a whiteboard that's built into this, but it's very hard for me to navigate, and I feel like I can record this better, what I'm fixing to do for you, and I can also send it to you. So that I feel like that's gonna be more helpful. So, here we go. Okay, lovely human being. So we're looking at those questions that are on the bottom of Smith's family budget, and they are number 1. Number 1 said, um what was the original net monthly cash flow for the Smiths? Okay, so after we filled this out, okay, we haven't fixed anything, but after we filled this out, I'm just going to go to when we just talked about this, that they had, I'm looking at the spreadsheet when we talked about how much they overspent. That's their net monthly cash flow. So they overspent. They're in the hole. Minus their net is 229, and I should have put dollars here. So negative $229.96. That answers the first question. It asks before they do anything, what's their net monthly cash flow? What percent of their monthly gross income is dedicated to the combination of mortgage and homeowners insurance? Okay, so their their monthly gross income, okay? Their monthly gross income is 36, no, that's not right. It's $3,000. We put that they made $36,000 a year. So to answer this question, you're going to need to divide their net, no, yeah, their monthly gross income. Let me word it the way they're wording it. So their monthly gross income, that's going to be on the bottom of the fraction. And the question is, what percent of their monthly gross income is dedicated to the combination of mortgage and homeowners insurance? Well, their mortgage was, I believe, $1,300, and their homeowners insurance was $804, but we needed to divide that by 12 because they only paid it. They pay. They get to take the 804 and divide it by 12 to get our monthly cost, which is going to be $67. So this is the mortgage plus homeowners insurance. So that's going to be 1367 divided by 3,000. It's asking us what percentage this is. So you would divide the top. So 1367 divided by 3,000. That's going to be approximately 0.4556, and it just keeps going. Okay. We know that if we're going to give a percentage that you need to multiply by 100. And it doesn't tell you what to round to here, but this would be 45.56. So I'm going to say, let's round to the nearest percent and say it's about 46%. Okay. That is a lot. That is a whole lot. If you're spending that much of your budget on your home, then I think that the current recommendation is 30% or less, and that to me is a lot. Even 30% is less. But these people are paying 45.56 or 46% of their all the money, almost half of their money is going to their mortgage, which I know you have to live somewhere, but if this is the case, then we need to try to find some other suitable something that will work that is not this expensive. Okay, this is where you guys come in. So it says, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull the budget back up, and then I'm going to I'll still come back and jot some things down. But list some of your creative but realistic recommended changes to their budget. Now, it did say that in the beginning that they would like, I mean, they don't even have anything in their emergency fund. So let me go back and share this with you. And then we'll kinda, as a class, decide on what I mean, we're gonna you can do it however you want to, I would say, but you are gonna kinda have to, decide what you want to put on there so if you do yours different, it's okay. But you just wanna make sure that your budget is gonna iron out, I guess. So we can't so that we wanna add something to emergency fund, and we want to add something to medical, dental, and vision. Um, I will try to go back, and so I'm looking at the chat. What do you guys say? Like, how much do you think is reasonable to have in the emergency fund? We have to add some there because if you don't have an emergency fund, you're gonna continue being in the hole. So stop eating out and thrift. I love thrift shopping. I do hear, so somebody's saying go ahead and put $100 in the emergency fund. I can do that. Um, let's do that real quick. $100 in the emergency fund. So here we go. $100. Now we're more in the hole, so we're going to have to adjust this. We did talk about the eating out. Um, they don't have any savings for medical, dental, and vision. I'm just going to go ahead and put $50 so that they'll have something. Okay. because you never know when an emergency is going to happen, a medical emergency. I'm seeing cheaper groceries. So let me adjust the things that I'm seeing people respond to. So I'm seeing cheaper groceries. So let's see what we can do. And I'm going to jot these down because on your actual project, you're going to have to say what you did. Okay. So currently, what I'm going to say is that in the emergency fund, we added $100. I'm going to say that we, in the medical, dental, vision, like the savings part, we added $50. Okay. Now, I'm hearing people say, okay, so I heard somebody say cheaper groceries. This is a family of four, and I know that there are a lot of ways to cut down on that, but so I'm just let's just talk about there being approximately 4 weeks in a month. Okay, there is actually a little bit more than that, but that's roughly $150 a week. Okay, so can we take it down to 500? So I know that that's kind of extreme, but that's a cut that maybe we can handle. So we moved the groceries down. Groceries went from 600 to 500. That that was our emergency fund. Okay. I also saw somebody said quit dining out. I think it's difficult to quit dining out altogether. So maybe we could just say, "Hey, let's cut this down to $40 a week," because that would be a reasonable. You at least get to go to Chick-fil-A once or something, right? If you cut it too extreme, then you probably are not going to be real successful. Okay, so now we've got a net monthly cash flow of 219.96. Okay, does our entertainment need to be $65? Maybe not until we get in control of this and get some stuff in savings. That's a lot. Let me go back and look and see what you guys are saying. Cut out the cable, internet, and find cheaper cell phone. I need some advice from you. I agree with you. I don't think you need the cable anymore. There's so many free services online that you could get with any kind of streaming service. So we're going to cut out the cable. I agree with you guys. Uh, I think I think that McKinley Colley is correct that if you are in a state where if you're struggling, then hitting the food banks is not a bad idea. Um, and lots of us have been in those places. I agree. So cable, internet, and find cheaper cell phone plan. We don't need the cable. Okay, let's adjust that then, because that's what you guys are saying. So we are going to. We are no longer having a cable bill. So cable TV went from this is cable. It went from 65.49 to nothing. Okay, I don't know how much cheaper people are going to be able to go with the cell phone plan. But it is the two adults, and so I hate to be this way, but the kids probably don't need one. And so let's just see maybe if we could get it down to like $80. So cell phone, we're going to take that from. And some of this is not realistic. So we would actually you would actually have to go price this stuff, right? So let's say because I heard you guys say no, I don't want to do that. Let's say $80 here on the cell phone bill. Now we're at 114.02. Okay, I don't think we're going to be able to do anything with health insurance, homeowners insurance, or the life insurance. You need to keep those if you have a family. Maybe clothing. That is when somebody else said that we could thrift, right? And I mean, I don't know if any of you guys have been to like the Goodwill bins or any of those places that are in Little Rock. I like to thrift, so this is just free information. I do know like Goodwill in so the Goodwill bins you can buy clothes by the pound. So I mean, you could fill up your whole buggy um, and spend $30. If if you go to Goodwill on Sunday afternoon, whatever their color is for that week, it goes down to like so that color that was 50% off the week before is now $1. And they always have a half off color too. So, I mean, I do think it's very realistic to get this clothing down to something more manageable. So, I know that we want to have like super designer things, but I'm going to bring it down to $40. They're not in a position. They may be in a position soon to be able to start spending more on clothing, but for right now, we're taking that 90 down to 40. Um, I don't know that they wanted to handle this 206.67 credit card payment, but I don't I don't think they can. I don't think they can do any more with that. I don't know what the miscellaneous fees were for, but I will say that um, you do need a cushion there for some things to come up. If you have something to break down in your car or those kind of different things. It doesn't even look like they have a car. So that one, and I don't know if the county and property taxes and all that stuff. So here's what I will say. I think they need to look at it. I think that they need to immediately look at using the equity in their home to get them in a position that they can be successful. So I'm going to say they don't need to have a $1,300 house payment. They need to be looking for another home and seeing if they can get out of that. Because chances are they're gonna be able to rent it even if they couldn't like, if they get out of it, they might be able to rent it. They need to sell their house, and they need to find something more affordable. But for right now, I'm gonna say that we can't to get this down to 0, I'm gonna say we can't make a $206.67 credit card payment. We're gonna have to do, let's see, 206.67 minus 6402. Still paying more than they were, so this is not bad, but 142.65. Okay. And now we've got a 0 balance. Like a 0, we're breaking even, which is good. I imagine there's gonna be a time when credit card. Just jotting this down real quick because I have to show you guys what to put on that paper. So 142.65. It would so now we've got what we need. Okay, let me go back here. Let me go back and I'll look at your chats too while we're looking at this other paper. Okay. So, um, yeah, some churches have clothing closets. Let's look at here. 4 lines for $100 at Cricket. How about that? I think that the Wi-Fi thing can depend on where you live, but I'm not sure. Levelized billing for electric, that's a great idea. So you can kind of know what's going to be there, um, or know what your monthly payment is going to be. So, yeah, Brandy, I think, and whoever, I think that if you've ever lived on what they call an envelope system, this is what this is similar to. So, like all of those expensive expenses that are like clothing and like entertainment, eating out, those expenses on a budget would be like, yeah, you may not spend the $40 that month on the clothes, but you may need it for the next month. So if you had $80, so then whatever you didn't spend would just roll over to the next month. And then it's kind of like a savings. Whatever you haven't spent is what you will have there. So some of those things that we would pay by month is what we'd end up having. So, yeah, marketplace is so looking for clothes in at clothing closets. Facebook Marketplace has the whole thing. I do agree that $1,300 for a mortgage is nowadays kind of cheap. Yeah, you're right. But so they may not be able to afford a mortgage right now. That's the hard part about, we may have to look. if you're really wanting to make sure that you're okay in the future, you may have to cut back on things that you may have to be willing to live in an apartment or something different until you can get at a place where you can afford it. But I agree, $1,300 is not that bad anymore. Um, y'all know all about the cell phones. I'm impressed. Oh, yeah. Oh my word. Whatnot and Temu addiction. I don't think they do have a car. So like, but also like $36,000. That is a very low salary for nowadays. I mean, it's difficult with if your other spouse doesn't work and you are living off of that, that would be difficult. Okay, so I'm going to go to this paper real quick. This is how you would end up doing this last part. And then I'm going to show you. So number 3, it's the problem was what list some of your creative but realistic recommended changes for the budget. Okay, so this means this is let's say what we you need to make 2 lists, and I'm going to send this to you so that you'll have an example of what to do on the actual project. I'm talk about 2 of those. They're 2 different things, but um, so we did add some things to the budget. We made an emergency fund. Doops doops. Sorry, can't spell today. We made an emergency fund. In that emergency fund, we added $100 to. We also there was also a column for medical, I think dental. It was all kind of one thing, vision. And we said we better start saving in case we needed to have we had an emergency. So we added this to these things, okay? To balance their budget to get it down to where the net cash flow was $0, we took away some things. Okay, so we the groceries were um, $600, but we took it down to 500. So we subtracted $100. Okay, the I've got a $100 down to a $60. I'm trying to think of what that was. I think it was the eating out. So it might have been called dining, but eating out, it that eating out was $100 and we took it down to $60. Actually, I don't know if that was eating out. Maybe it was. I'm going to check my budget really quick because I think I did something goofy. Um, Oh, we did the opposite of what I said here, so we brought it down to $40, so we subtracted $60 from that, okay? We also they had cable TV, and that cable TV let me look up here because I don't remember what it was. I apologize. I'm trying to find it on this sheet real quick so I don't have to switch back and forth again for you guys. Oh, 65.49. So the cable TV was 65.49. You guys said, "No, you don't need that." So we subtracted that. We still were not down to what we needed to. We'd said, "Well, maybe we could get a better cell phone plan." And what our goal was to take it from 120.45 and to take it down to $80. So that took away $40. 40 well, actually it took away 45. Okay. And we said we know they wanted to pay extra on their credit card, but I think that they had in it that they wanted to pay 200. They wanted to pay 206.67, but we were like, no, you don't have enough money for that. You do have enough money to do 142.65. So that was the rest that ended up giving us what we needed to. And I think so 206.67 minus 142.65. So that was a 6402. So so when it says list some of the creative but realistic recommended changes to their budget, this is what we added, this is what we subtracted, and now their budget is balanced. Okay, that's what it's asking you to do. And I can send you this paper, we did it together, but that's what it's asking you to do. Okay, so I will send you the filled out spreadsheet. I will send you, I can't, I mean, the paper is in there. I'll show you again where to find it. And I'll send you this of what we changed. Okay. So if you, let me see if we've got anybody new. We do not have very many people tonight. So here's what you need to do. I'm going to just remind you, this is what we worked on. And so when you go to your Blackboard, let me make sure I'm sharing this. I'm not. Thanks for not yelling at me, though. So when you go to your Blackboard, this activity that we did tonight was under Module 2, and it's going to say Practice Budget Activity Smith Family. Okay, and you're going to go view instructions, and it's going to give you a document that's what we just got through writing down together. If you want to rewrite the same thing that we wrote together, that's fine. I did have somebody turn in like my written thing, and that's no. Like we can do some of this stuff together, but you're going to have to actually do the things, if that makes sense. And then the worksheet is here, and so you would upload both of these filled in, okay? And I'll send you the one that we filled out together if you want to reuse that one. Um, you can do that, but you may want so you're actually you don't have to turn in. You don't have to turn in the spreadsheet at all. That was just for us to use together to kind of work on that. I would strongly encourage you to practice it though, because here's what's coming. So tonight, I'm going to let you guys have time to kind of work on that. But what's coming next is that after you do this practice one, we're going to do the real one. And the real one is under this. So here's under module 2, the videos, PowerPoints activity. We did financing my future car activity last time. And so when you scroll all the way down, there is directions for this new Johnson family. And I'm going to go over this the next class. So, and you're not going to have to turn the new one in until the next week. So I wouldn't get stressed out about this right now, but doing what we did tonight will help you do the new one. Okay. Because this one is a little bit more complicated. But this does give you directions, and it does give you the Excel document. Okay. So the goal here is that you're going to go to tonight. You want to go to practice. This is under module 2, practice budget activity Smith family. And you want to turn in the paper that says the class activity paper. And so when you click on that, it'll let you download it. You can either type on it, you can write on it. I'll send you what we came up with together, and you fill it out and you submit it here. Okay. So questions about that stuff? Did I write something? Okay. Um, you can put this one on notebook paper. That's fine. That's fine. But the other project you're going to have to do like a presentation for, and it's kind of lengthy. But this one that we're just practicing together, working with the spreadsheet and stuff, absolutely, that's fine. I'm going to stop recording this.